Seeing as we're here, and outside is very much still asleep, I posted up on Instagram a couple of days ago asking about drum-related questions. Seeing as I was going to be here, I thought it'd be a really good time to do a drum Q&A. So I've written them all down, and I guess we'll just blast through it. I say blast, you know what I mean. Okay, so when it comes to placing room mics, actually it's probably easier if I just show you. When it comes down to placing room mics, I work in increments of 4 feet. The reason being is my overhead mic to my snare typically is about 4 foot, 4 foot equilateral triangle. I'll then measure from the snare out, and I'll try 8 foot in front of the kit, see how that sounds. Then I'll try 12. I think this is somewhere around, if this is 12, this is probably about 22, 24. So this is my first stage room mic, REA R88. And the reason for this is, so let's say I did 8 feet, didn't like it, went to 12, liked it less. Trying to remember where I had the microphone beforehand, which was 8 foot. It's quite difficult if you're just eyeballing it, unless you're going to put tape on the floor. So I just use increments of 4 foot. I think I learned that from probably Adam Get Good, who I've done a couple of records with, or Sampura, I think, I forget. I don't really have a favourite. I keep flip-flopping around because I haven't found something yet that I need to process less in order to get the sound that I'm looking for when I'm in the mix. The closest one that I've come to at the moment is the one that's in the kick drum at the moment, which I think is an Audio-Technica mic. It's a dynamic, but that, along with, I may as well show you this EQ move on the Vintech, I'm sure you can see, is pretty dimed. Has been the closest I can get to what I want to hear off the bat, and that's sort of it so far. Sometimes I've used a Beta 91A, Shure Beta 91A, but again, I'm always trying new stuff out, and at the moment I'm at Audio-Technica world. I use samples, but not in the sense of replacing a bad mic signal. It will be sometimes to, let's say the snare isn't as loud as I want it to be in the rooms, it will be to bring in a new ambient sound. Or let's say like the snare that was tracked was overly muted and the guys that I'm working with want it to be more alive. So then I'll use samples to bring elements to the drum sound that just don't currently exist in the natural state, rather than replacing stuff outright, typically. Pick mics that have hypercardioid polar patterns, which is what's on the snare at the moment, which is the dual element Audio-Technica, or pick microphones that have nice bleed, which there are very few of, and are definitely not the 421s that are on toms at the moment. Stuff like the Josephson E22s have really nice sounding bleed, which make it easier to work with, but they are also like £800 a microphone, so fight the battles that are worth fighting in that case. For kick drum, I'll use a drum dial to get the kick batter to read about 68 or 70, and then the reso will go up to about 74, 75. I don't know what note that is, but that's always been a really good starting point to tweak from thereafter. On a snare, it's usually around E or F. I'm pretty much always using the Remo P77 drum head as well, so if you try out that combination, you'll get pretty close. Toms, it's normally, if it's the four toms, it'll be DADB has been the best tuning combination that I've found to start with, or if the band tuned to like F sharp or C sharp or something, I'll move that either half a step up or half a step down to match what the tuning of the band is. Okay, so I think that's volume of air, basically, along with not having a lot of parallel surfaces running alongside each other, and providing that the room has enough soft materials in it. So not duvets and blankets and stuff. We're talking softer woods that break up the sound and reflect that sound back into the room in different ways. That tends to be the nicest sounding drum rooms, irrespective of size. I think you're in a good spot if you can find a room that's, got 15, 16 foot ceilings and, at least 24 foot deep, maybe 20 foot wide. I think that's a good starting point. That would be a really nice space to have access to and then build on. Okay, so I'm guessing that's like if we don't have access to somewhere like Middle Farm. I would then focus more on getting the close mics as big sounding as possible, and then I would probably use samples to build a room using MIDI. I'd probably load up something like Get Good Drums, translate all the audio from the kit to MIDI, and then trigger ambient samples from within Get Good Drums, or I'd go to the effort of building a custom room ambience sample library setup thing from samples that I've made, but I don't have a contact library. So Get Good makes it super convenient just by being able to plop MIDI in and just run with it. Compression, no. EQ, on this session, yeah. See if I can show some stuff. So the snare is going into this rooster at the moment. And it's quite hard off the bat to remember how to explain how this thing works. So we've got the snares going here. This is the snare. We've then got I'm EQing the R88 on the Electra. This is our kick mics in and out. I don't think I've got any other EQ running. So I think toms are on the ISA. Close spot mic cymbals are on the Phoenix, and then the second room channels are on the Stam. Sorry for the low energy drum Q&A. It's really, it's really early and no one else is awake, and I've not had coffee yet. So I may end up doing this again upon revision, but this is my morning, yeah. So thank you for your questions. I think I've got enough to do another one of these at some point. Maybe not just drum related, but studio stuff related in general. So if it was good, I'll do another one. I'll probably do it anyway, because sod it. All right. Until next time, don't be a dick.